Hence the endeavor of the Jews to control the immigration policy of the United States. Although theirs is but a seventh of our net immigration, they led the fight on the Immigration Commission's bill.
Like I said, from the very beginning, they have been pro-immigration so that they can not only bring more Jews into the country, but so that they can bring in other people from all around the world, because Jews feel safer, especially post-World War II, when white people don't have any kind of collective power. Really, it's when no other group has collective power. The Jewish superpower is their collectivism. That is their nepotism, their collectivism, their ethnic bond is their racism, is their superpower. Racism is a superpower. And so if they can find a country that doesn't have that, or if they find a country where that is exploitable, where they can dilute that by bringing in immigrants from all around the world and making it impossible for them to have any kind of collective power, then that is going to benefit them as a people. It's going to increase, it's going to be a force multiplier on their superpower of collectivism. So he's talking about how, you know, they're only a seventh of our immigration, which is way too fucking high. And yet here they are, they're the pioneers pushing for immigration, and they've quickly found their way in positions of influence, and they are using that influence to increase immigration. And they've always done this since they arrived, and they were doing it over 100 years ago.
The power of the million Jews in the metropolis lined up the congressional delegation from New York in solid opposition to the literacy test. The systematic campaign in newspapers and magazines to break down all arguments for restriction and to calm nativist fears is waged by and for one race. Hebrew money is behind the National Liberal Immigration League and its numerous publications, from the paper before the commercial body or the scientific association to the heavy treatise produced with the aid of the Baron de Hirsch Fund. The literature that proves the blessings of immigration to all classes in America emanates from subtle Hebrew brains.
So it's the same exact methods. The same exact methods. They are bankrolling politicians. They are running publications and and distributing propaganda. All this melting pot bullshit. This was all happening over 100 years ago, and the Jews were running all of it. This idea that America is a melting pot, that we're a nation of immigrants, that's 100% a Jewish narrative. That is not how America viewed itself prior to Jewish immigration, which led to Jewish propaganda and Jewish education.
In order to admit their brethren from the pale, the brightest of the Semites are keeping our doors open to the dullest of the Aryans.
And this is what he's talking about in terms of the lower quality whites that are now coming here. Because by getting rid of the literacy restriction, it's not just allowing the Jews to come in, it's allowing illiterate Europeans to come in. So it's not just making the quality of immigrant go down because more of them are Jews. It's making the quality of immigrant go down because the white ones that come can't read. And the Jews don't care. For the same reason the Jews want these caravans of Guatemalans to come in, and they fund those efforts, by the way, because they want to have lots of stupid goyim in their economic zone.